Yo, before you watch this episode, don't forget to hit the subscribe and turn on the notification bell. Peace.
أهلا.
أهلين.
Hello, Amna, Hamda.
Hi.
So we start with my question, which is important to me. And I'll ask a lot of questions and you answer freely. So how are you really doing?
We're doing good.
Yeah, all good.
One by one. I want to know.
You go first.
Okay. Yeah, I'm doing really well. Finished uni, finally. And yeah, I'm ready for the second semester. Not racing because of the budget. But yeah, I'm looking forward to next season, hopefully.
And as a person,
Yeah, I'm good. I'm doing really well, yeah.
happy?
Happy, always happy.
Always I don't believe, but happy I believe.
Not always, but it's always good to think positive. Think that you're happy, fake it till you make it. In a way.
If you bring that sentence, we will have a 10-minute debate. I don't like that saying. It's a very famous saying, fake it till you make it, fake it till. A lot of people say it and a lot of people preach it and train it.
Yeah.
I personally don't like it. I'd rather say believe it till you make it.
True.
The
yeah.
fake it, I'm sorry, I'm answering on your answer now, but I feel if you fake it, but subconsciously you don't believe it, it never works. So let's say somebody wants to be, a number one driver, and he fakes it and he acts and he has this ego and he's whatever, right? Overconfident. But deep down inside, when he goes home, he thinks he's shit and he's never gonna be that good.
Yeah.
He doesn't believe it.
So I don't think that his fake it till you make it will ever work because he doesn't believe it.
True,
But
yeah.
if you actually think, I am good enough to be the number one racer, first maybe MENA, then global, then whatever, and you really believe it, but you're like, I need to work, but I believe I have the potential. So I like believe it till you make it, then fake it till you
Yeah, I'll
make it.
start using that now.
Yeah, that's actually a good point.
You have to, as a racer also,
Yeah, true.
you have to have a subconscious belief in yourself, because when you're in that car, not your father, not your mother, not your best friend, nobody's with you.
Yeah.
So if you don't believe you can actually race,
Yeah.
Yeah, my dad has taught me like that a lot recently because I always had like low self-confidence when I'm racing, especially. So he's like, you have to believe you're good. You are good, so you have to believe it. Because sometimes I'm like, no, what if? All these doubts come around, and he taught me a lot. And also my sister taught me a lot because she was never like overconfident, but she had the right amount of confidence that helped her mindset and helped her like mental approach towards the races and all that. So yeah, I think that's a really good point that helped me quite a lot in my racing career also. So
I'll add to your point.
Yeah.
Looks like I'll add a lot today, hopefully. But I think this conversation is that we should, add to each other.
yeah.
On confidence, I was talking to my son, and he's 11, and he wasn't confident about something. And I was telling him that, he's like, look at you, you're confident, Baba. I'm like, I wasn't always confident. So confidence, even for you, Hamda, it's a muscle. So if I tell you ride a bicycle, you know how to ride a bicycle? You'll probably ride and you'll even put your hands away because you're confident, because you practiced enough.
Yeah.
If I come and try to drive your car, I'll not be confident. You will be confident. Me, I can be confident on this chair, but you put me on the racing chair, I'm not confident.
Yeah,
I need practice, I need time. So I think this is what people don't realize, is confidence doesn't come.
Yeah.
You don't see a footballer taking a penalty kick in a World Cup final just calm by luck.
Yeah.
No, it takes time.
Yeah.
Yeah, even Amna, I'm sure it took you time to reach that level that she said.
Yeah,
confidence,
it took
yeah.
me a really, really long time, especially because I've been in the sport for like 7 years. So in the beginning, my confidence was very low. People were making fun of me because, I wasn't as good as everybody else. I didn't have that amount of training. So with time, I got better, and then that's when my confidence came. Like, I became better than the top drivers in the karting field. So yeah, with time, then I realized, you know, I am good enough. If I could beat them, then I'm sure like in single-seaters, I could do the same. But single-seaters is a different story.
I'll come back to you because you said we stopped at the fake it till you make it thing, that you're
Yeah.
happy, but even if you're not always happy, you should act happy. And then you said fake it till
Yeah.
you make it. So if we take you today, how, you know, Amna's feeling today, how are you feeling? Okay, let's say out of 10, how happy are you?
I would say 7.5.
Okay. You're a point person, I am the
Yeah.
same. And your well-being, how do you feel emotionally?
Emotionally, I'm stressed. There's a lot going on, like with racing, with school, like university. I'm trying to work on something to get something done, hopefully in the upcoming future. So it's a lot of stress. I'm getting so stressed out.
You see, that's a more honest answer.
Yeah.
And you know what's funny, Hamda? This question, no matter how basic it is, you can have a whole conversation just asking somebody, how are you? And
Yeah.
really, really ask them, how are they doing? And it takes so much to crack people
Yeah, true.
because we're so conditioned to answer like, yeah, I'm good, I'm fine, of course, I'm good. Everybody gives you such a automatic answering machine answer. But when
Straight
you
answer
really
for them.
think of, even sometimes I think we don't ask ourselves this question,
Yeah, no,
honestly.
never.
We don't sit down, we're like,
How am I today?
exactly. Like, how am I really doing today? Am I stressed? Am I down? Is my energy up? Is my energy down? And then I think the more we ask ourselves daily that question, the more we are aware.
Yeah.
True. My turn.
Your question.
So,
Same question
Same
for you.
question. How am I? I'm doing okay. I just came back from a flight and I'm missing the racing atmosphere and all of that. But yeah, I'm happy to be back with the family, obviously. And yeah, I'm spending some more time with my brothers that I haven't seen in a while. Also my sister. So to get back here and to, you know, recreate the bond that we had before leaving. So yeah, I'm actually pretty happy to be here. So
That's good.
almost a straightforward answer, but it's kind of true. So
It sounds true.
yeah.
Hers sounded in the beginning very automatic. If I ask you, who are you, Hamda?
Who am I?
How would you describe yourself?
So should I say like straight facts about me, like my name, my age?
There's no should.
So
You
who am
say
I?
what you want to say.
I feel like I would describe myself as basically a racing driver, almost full time, because I do spend most of my times in the racetracks, never really around the family as much, or even around friends as much. So I've done a lot of sacrifices for my racing career. So yeah, I would basically describe myself as a racing driver, committed and dedicated to reaching an ultimate goal that I had my mind to since she ever started racing before me. So yeah, that's what I would describe myself
And you,
as.
Amna?
Me as a person, I would say I'm very determined. I'm very passionate of what I do. Sometimes I'm overconfident and it's a really bad thing. My father keeps telling me, you know, overconfidence, you need to go down a bit. And yeah, I'm the type of person who's really strong-minded. I don't really care what other people think of me. I don't really care, you know, how, you know, people will compare me to other drivers. I'm very like, I'm in my own lane. I'm here for one thing, for experience, for the fun of it also. So yeah.
And I'm the opposite of that, what she said just now. Literally the complete opposite. I care too much of what people think of me. I care too much of like what racing drivers, what my competitors think of me, if I'm good enough, if I'm not good enough, on track, off track, whatever it is. So yeah, that's why my dad says to be more a bit in the middle. So don't care too much, but then don't care at all. Like it has to be a balance. But yeah.
The interesting thing is there's no one route for success. Like her route might be one route and she can be successful. Your style and your personality can be a completely different one.
Yeah, true.
There's no one. If there was one, everybody would take that route.
Yeah,
And
it would be easy.
everybody will be. You have to just carve your own persona. You meet some professionals that are really down to earth and they're successful. There are ones that are very arrogant and
And
successful.
still,
Yeah.
It is what it is.
both ways work.
Okay, so yeah, we were at you telling me about your personality and how you describe yourself. So in your own lane, strong-minded, you don't really care too much what people say.
Yeah.
And you think your personality has served you?
Yeah, I think it's when I started racing, it shaped me. So, before racing, I was like my sister. I would never stand for myself. I would always stay quiet. I would always care about what people think about me. But then in racing, with time, it built me. I've been racing with men, so they were very aggressive. The way they are, the way like when I'd be called to the stewards with another male driver, the way he shouts and talks, you know, that started building in me, and I'm like, I have enough. I'm gonna start shouting now. So yeah, it built me.
Nice. Girls, your childhood, how was it?
Fun, so fun. I want to go back in time.
Yeah, it was so fun.
It was actually really fun. We would always go on family trips almost every weekend. We were always around each other, so you know, sometimes arguing, sometimes fighting, but then most times
so
having
many
fun.
stories.
So, yeah, so many funny stories, memories. So yeah, like right now, since like we all have almost like our own lives, so with studying, with racing and all that, so we're never really with each other. And also my brother, he does kickboxing.
Nice.
And so he's training a lot, but then racing is completely different than kickboxing. So then he has a different interest, but we still come together and talk about our interests and so on. But then being like far away from each other is a little bit difficult. I wish we could go back to how it was. Well, yeah.
You know what's funny? I think sometimes we romanticize the past. That even if we do end up going, it's not the same.
True, yeah.
We just like the memory. We make it grander. It doesn't mean it wasn't a good memory. But
true.
it was good in that experience. Like
At
when
that
I go
time.
back to my college city, I went once. I'm like, is this what I was? But at that time, it was wow, you know?
And everything looked much bigger. And
Yeah.
True.
And you think the childhood was the same?
Yeah, pretty much the same. We would play outside. We didn't have phones, we didn't have iPads, we didn't have anything. So we were like living our childhood. We'd go to friends' house, they would come to our house, and
The days felt longer, basically.
Yeah.
Were your parents strict, like with technology?
Yes.
Very strict.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was only a certain age that we're allowed to have a phone and so on.
I got my first phone when I started university.
Really?
Yeah.
And you think it's a good thing? You would do the same for your kids?
I think, yeah, it's a good thing because like, now seeing kids nowadays, you know, I would be like in shock. So I was like, thank God, because I would have done the same.
Because it's very addictive.
Yeah, because like right now when we have our phones and so on, we're not as addictive, like because we didn't have it in such a young age. So, and then like everything we do in it is basically just, for example, to stay in contact with friends or for racing, basically our accounts and so on. But yeah, I think it was a good thing that they did. Because we honestly lived like a better life together. Now, like it's with our phones right now, like we don't interact as much as we used to. So I wish we could throw them sometimes and just
throw them in the ocean.
Throw them and stay together. Yeah.
You can put rules. Like one, we have to accept that smartphones are here and they're gonna stay most probably. Social media is here to stay. So the question is not how to get rid of it, but how to manage it. So let's say you have a dinner and we say, okay, phones all silent.
That's what my dad does in the
Yeah.
dinner
Things
table.
like that. I think things like that force you to have nice stories and have a good conversation. But if every little second, for 2 seconds, you're bored and you grab
And
your
you go,
phone, it's a lazy approach. You don't even try to put an effort in talking.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like my father gave us also like hours. You know, he would always tell us to send screenshots of how long we've
certain
been
hours,
on
how
the
long
phone.
we're on it, how long
nice.
we're on social media.
Yeah, so
And also on a race weekend, like we would have our phone actually taken away, or
Confiscated,
we choose to like put it away throughout the whole race weekend, so that we're not distracted or So we're always in that focus mode of like racing, and then after the race weekend, okay, you can have your phone back, check what's going on. So.
Favorite colors? Yours?
Oh, I like rainbows.
Rainbow?
Yeah, I love all
Colorful.
colors.
What if you had to choose one?
I can't.
Really?
I swear. That's why my helmet is like full of colors. I can't decide.
There is no one that if we had to choose that you're like, okay, this one has 1% an edge over everything.
I would say pastel pink.
Pastel pink, nice
Yeah.
color. Why? 3 reasons.
3 reasons why.
I've been living like a pink life when I was young. You know, Barbies and my covers, my bed covers were all like pink. My
But
outfits.
Why did you say pastel pink?
Yeah, pastel pink.
Yeah, why?
Just reminds me of like, it's like a small
Nostalgic?
connection. Yeah, nostalgic. Yeah.
That's one.
It's pretty to look at.
Pretties too.
And 3, I would say it goes with everything.
Okay. Adaptable.
Adaptable, yeah.
Red. I love the color.
Why?
red. It's my team's color, first of all, in the racing. So we all have red suits, red car. So I really like that color. Also, it's like a fierce color. It's, you know, fire almost. So I think it's a very fierce color. And 3rd thing, honestly, I don't know, but to me it goes with everything almost. I don't
Also
know.
adaptable.
And it's a pop. Yeah, it's just a color that pops. So wherever you go, red is like, oh. So I think it's.
So this question is designed to say how you see yourselves. So you said first one, you said for pastel pink, you did say adaptable. You said it's nostalgic, and you said it's pretty. So you see yourself as pretty, adaptable, and nostalgic.
Oh, no way.
Maybe you're the type that always likes to have, you know, good memories and whatnot. And for you, fierce,
Yeah.
and it reminds you of your racing team. And you said that it's adaptable
just
and
a
it's
pop.
poppy.
Yeah.
So maybe those are your
that's cool.
personalities.
Cool.
It's a good question.
It's a cool
that's
way.
really
nice.
Yeah.
So Amna, is it true that you are the first Emirati female racing driver?
Yes, it's true.
True. And how does that make you feel?
In the beginning, I never really thought of it. I just thought, you know, I'm just a normal racing driver like everybody else. But then when I reached that point, I felt like I had a lot of pressure. I felt like I had to prove myself in every racetrack I go to. So yeah, once I reached that level, you know, first Emirati, and it hit my head, that was a lot of pressure.
Is it good pressure?
No, negative. Yeah.
Why?
Because going to the track, you know, you need experience, mileage, practice. And I was always the driver that just comes straight into the race weekend with no practice. So I would always try to push myself. I'd be like, oh, you know, in the beginning, I was faster than this driver in karting. How is he faster than me here? So I would like push myself, and I caused a lot of problems mentally and a lot of problems on the track, crashing. And yeah, it was really, really bad.
And how did you manage?
I'm still trying to manage because it's still a bad habit. I'm always trying to prove myself, and my dad, you know, is trying to calm me down. He's telling me, enough, you're not here to prove anything to anybody. But yeah, it's something that's really difficult to let go of. But I'm now trying to calm myself towards it.
Okay. And girls, how do other females react to you both being racers?
I think they find it very like different because we're Arabs, and it's difficult to have drivers from the Arab world. Like you don't really find much racing drivers like racing on a high level. There was like a few from Morocco and so on, but it's really difficult to find you know, drivers from the Middle East or Emirati in general. So I think they find that very like different, and also when they know about our culture and the way we grow up and so on, they find it very like astonishing. So I met a few female drivers also when I was racing in Europe. So and also they're very shocked as to how we were able to adapt to racing and how we're actually good enough to be racing there, because like growing up here, like the karting isn't a high level, and so to be able to go to Europe and also perform well and gain and get results, it's surprising to them. So but we interact with a lot of other female drivers, and I hope more get into it, because there's really talented girls who are able to achieve many results. It's just the opportunity has to be there, and yeah, as soon as we get more opportunities, more drivers will come. Like my dad also said, like ever since we started racing as Emirati female drivers, there was a lot of Emirati female drivers who were calling and asking to start in karting, and also a bunch of my friends were asking me how could they start and so on. So it's a good thing that I see more people starting to get comfortable with the sport. It's not something that's surprising anymore. Oh my God, girls racing! No, it's something that's getting a bit more natural. So.
Yeah, I agree.
And for you, let's say women in general, would they look at you weird?
When I first started karting, I started before my sister. In school, everybody like judged me. They were like, it's a man's sport. Why are you doing it? And they'd start saying things that has nothing to do with what I'm doing, but I just kept on going. I'm like, this is something I enjoy, something I don't, something I love. I love doing. I love racing. But then I learned that from there, I'm not supposed to tell anybody who I was. So once I went into uni, I didn't tell anybody what I did because I don't want that to repeat itself. The same questions, the same like, oh my God, she's this because she's racing. So in the beginning, it was difficult, but now people are starting to open up. People are accepting new things that are happening and changing. So now people are more praising, and girls are now like sending me messages. How can I start? How can I begin? I want to take interest. I want to start going professionally. I want to be like you. So now I see like now girls are actually taking interest in this, as before nobody was really interested in it. They were more like criticizing it.
Yeah, I want to add to that too. Like in school, when I first started after my sister, my friends didn't believe me. Like I told them I'm racing. They're like, okay, yeah, okay. No, I'm really racing. So then it took them a while for them to believe me in the beginning. So then when they saw like different things like on the internet, like news about me, like having podiums in karting and so on, they're like, Hamda, oh wait, you're actually racing. Yeah, okay. And then they were like, oh, it's cool and stuff, and then they wanted to join in and so on. So it's a bit different from her, but like it's just the idea of racing was so abnormal because it's just not famous here in the UAE. Like racing is not something that's really famous, and not a lot of people do it. So it's not like football or horse riding. So yeah, that's why I think they didn't believe me at first. But then as soon as they saw the news, they saw some things about me. They were, oh, okay. and so they also wanted to go karting with me and so on. So. Yeah.
How about men? How do men react to you being racers?
Oh, we get underestimated a lot.
You get underestimated a lot.
Yeah,
okay.
Especially at the track one time. We had to coach a few people in karting. And there was one guy, I was supposed to teach a shifter kart. And he would look at me from up to down and judging me. And he'd go up to my coach and be like, you're giving me this girl, she knows how to drive. And he's like, yeah, she's good. And then the guy's like, whatever. And then I was like, okay, follow my line. And then he's like, no, I don't want to follow you. It's like, okay. And I just went out and I pulled away, like maybe overlapped him 3 times as well. He came back and his jaw dropped.
Okay, teach me now.
And I was like, okay, teach me. I was like, okay, finally. But yeah, we get underestimated a lot.
I think there is that, but then also as soon as you put the helmet down and start to compete with them, they start to gain respect, especially if you're good. They gain respect towards you, and then in the end they see you as another competitor there. They don't see you as a girl driving. But obviously, like if you're racing against guys and they get beaten by a girl, I think they also have that pressure. They get told, oh, you got beaten by a girl and so on. So I think that side also is what makes them feel worse. But I don't think it's them who's saying it or underestimating us. They just don't want to finish behind us because of that thing, you know. A bunch of times my coach told me, like, there was many drivers, if you finish ahead of them, they get told, oh, look, she finished ahead of you. How can she finish ahead of you, you know? Things like that. But then as soon as you gain respect from the drivers themselves, like racing in Europe, I gained a lot of respect from many other drivers just by getting results, just by finishing in the top step. But it takes that for them to gain respect towards you. It's difficult to have it once you're like a newcomer or a starter in racing. You don't really get that respect until you actually show pace and results. So Yeah.
It's interesting, huh? That you have to, this idea that just because of your gender, by default, you should be worse than me in racing. Like
Yeah.
just because somebody's born a male, they should be
They
a
should be
better
better.
driver. Like, if you think about it, it has nothing to
I
do
know,
with it.
yes, exactly.
But yeah, it's a perception, and
Yeah.
it's a stigma that needs to be broken. So you girls are breaking things like that, which technically it should be completely fine. If the
Should
girl
be
is
normal.
better than you, then she should beat you, and it should be fine. If you want to be better than a male or a female, just practice more.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Train more and you.
It's very interesting, yeah.
Yeah.
So would you say it's fair to say that racing is a male-dominated sport?
I think it is because there's just a lot of male drivers on track. I think if there was more female drivers on track, if it was like 50-50, I don't think it would be male dominated. But then because it depends again, because a lot of females' interests are not racing. Like most of them go other directions. But I think it's mostly because of the opportunities. Like it's hard to find opportunities given. And yeah, so I think for it to become male dominated is something that's it's just there because it is kind of male. There's just male drivers. Like in Europe, I'm one of 2 girls out of a 35 car grid. So
Yeah.
so it's only 2 girls and then 35 other guys. So
Like
then
there is 1 girl per championship.
it's very
Like,
difficult to find.
If there is a girl, it could be 1 girl per championship. So it's very difficult,
Yeah.
for women to get in this field because of the budget. It's a really
That's
expensive
the second
sport.
time you mentioned budget.
Yeah.
It's difficult to sustain, I guess, the sport.
Yes,
It's a very expensive
difficult.
sport, yeah.
Yeah, I know that from Netflix now. After watching
Expensive.
Formula One, very expensive.
Yeah, and after you, especially incidents also that you have on track, then the cost to repair your car.
It's high, huh?
Yeah, really
That's
high.
why, like, when I'm racing, especially in Formula cars, I really am cautious when driving because I really don't want to damage. I don't want to take a risk to damage the car.
Yeah, but that can also affect you as a racer, right?
True, yeah. Because
It's
if you have,
tough.
if you have like a lot of backup and you know that you have the money there, so if you take a risk, it's not a big issue because then you're like, okay, I can fix the car, it's not a problem.
So-
So I'll try to brake 10 meters later. I'll try to go on the gas a bit earlier before the corner or something. So, yeah.
Okay. Amna, you would say you got into racing and the support of your family was a big factor?
Yeah, of course, because my mom took me abroad as I was younger, so I couldn't really go alone. So my mother would come, she would take me to practice, and then the race weekend. So she was always there for me, coming back and forth. And yeah, my father also, he helped me find the sponsor. He also helps me in the race weekend. He would come. When he couldn't, he would watch online. So they were really, really supportive of what we do.
It's interesting because I'm curious about also your parents' perspective, that to have your daughters, which usually are, especially in our Arabic communities, where they're overprotective of their daughters, and we need to protect them and not hurt them, and also to let them go into a very male-dominant sport where men will be intimidated or offended quickly, or they want to bully you off the track or whatever. It takes a lot of confidence and risk and guts for parents to say, no, I think it's okay for my daughter, whether it's an Arabic society or not. I want, and funnily, it's a world issue, not even an Arabic society.
True.
That racers are very rare, female racers. So that's what I'm curious about, that your dad and your mom, what made them, take that leap and say, you know what, no, I want to push my daughter in a field that's not even...
Yeah, it's because our dad was a racing driver himself.
Yeah, I
and
read.
so, yeah, like racing in GT and so on around the world, he really loved the sport. And when he saw the passion in my sister, she really pushed him to start an
was
academy
pushing
and to
him.
race.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I heard
He
him.
was unsure about it.
I overheard him on the phone saying he was going to open an academy for Emiratis. So once I heard it, I was like, Baba, do it! Come on,
do it.
Every single day I would go up to him and be like, come on, push it. Let's start an
But
academy.
what got you into it?
I actually got the spark from him, from my dad. We were doing gymnastics before that, so we were more passionate in gymnastics. But then my dad, you know, traveling, and when he'd come, he'd bring drivers for dinner, and the way they talked about racing, like oh my God, it's amazing. It's like a fantasy. So I was like, I wanted to try it. So yeah.
So in a nutshell, would you say, girls, that the support of parents, either one or both, if you're lucky, it's crucial for somebody to follow a certain passion or a career?
I think it is because they play a big part. Yeah. When you have the support with them, then when you're doing it, you feel like, okay, I'm doing it because I have an approval from them, and at the same time they're there behind me. Even if it goes wrong, you know, like they're there to help me. But then if you're on your own and your parents don't approve or things like that, it's not easy to start or to even get to a high level.
So Hamda, why do you race?
Why do I race? Well, first of all, it's fun. I enjoy it a lot, and I also started because of her. Actually, I saw her do it, and she got a lot of like, you know, her personality changed completely. Like she started to be more aggressive, but at the same time she was more fun. Like she was like always active, always, you know, oh, let's go to the track, let's do this, and I wanted something like that. I tried everything else, didn't feel the same. I didn't want to copy her at first because I was like, okay, if I do that, you know, it's kind of basic, like following my sisters, like everybody does that. But then I was like, okay, I tried everything. I tried swimming, I tried dance, like hip hop dance. Didn't like it at all. And then I tried I was quite good, yeah. But then also with her gymnastics, like she started before me. Then I went behind her gymnastics, and then I was like, I don't want to do the same. And then like after watching her for like a year and a half, her racing around, I was like, okay, you know what? Let's give it a go. Even if I'm not good enough, we'll see how it goes. And then from like the first practice, the first test, I enjoyed it a lot. Like the speed and everything is so fun. And then I realized how she was feeling. I was like, okay, this is nice. Let's start. So then, yeah, from there, just build up basically.
And for you?
Yeah, for me, the first time was fun. Like playing rentals with my dad. Well, he was supposed to coach me, but I would always, you know, play with him. I was much lighter, so I would always get away ahead of him. It was so fun. Like it's a different experience. You get a lot of adrenaline in it.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why you do it?
Yeah, the adrenaline
and it keeps you busy. I think it keeps you like, especially if you're so passionate about it, then you feel like you're like working towards something. Like I didn't want to work towards something I'm not passionate about or not dedicated about, you know. So it's nice to have like, okay, racing, I love it so much. I have so much support. Obviously, the more you go up the ranks, the more pressure you have because you're like, okay, I need to get results, I need to do well. But the enjoying is still there. Like you still enjoy the sport because you love racing, you love competing. So, yeah, I think that's one thing.
Okay, I have a question, Hamda.
Yeah.
If Amna and your dad weren't into racing, would you be a racer?
No,
No.
I don't think so. No, because after I saw her is when I started. Not even my dad. I know my dad was racing, but I was like, no, that's not my thing. I'm never like gonna enjoy it, but I'm never gonna be good at it. That's the first thing that came to my mind. Because obviously you can enjoy something, but then if you're not good at it, like it's kind of like something that you don't want to really do. So yeah, that's one thing that always crossed my mind. I'm not gonna be good at it. I'd rather not. And then when she did it, I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it. Thank you. Thank you. She gave me like she almost like carved the pathway, honestly, because
and she did, and she broke a stereotype, and then it's easier for you.
Yeah, exactly. It was much easier for me to get in, to start racing. Also, everything she did, like I would learn from it. So if she did a mistake on track, okay, she did that wrong. Okay, I learned from it. I shouldn't do that.
Nice.
Or if she started formula quite late, okay, Hamda, we will start with you a bit earlier. If she didn't have much testing, okay, Hamda, you will have more testing. So it's almost like I learned from her at the same time. Yeah.
I was a lab rat.
The first ones have to be.
Yeah.
The first ones are the ones who get hit the most in business or in anything in life, and then the next one, it's easier.
It was much easier for me,
Amna, when was the last time you did something for the first time?
Something for the first time? I tried everything.
We didn't go skydiving yet.
Oh, yeah,
so when was the last time you did something for the first time?
The last time you did something for the first time? Confusing question, was it?
That's a good question.
When did we do something for the first time? I don't even know.
I think we were much younger when we tried everything.
It can be eating something, it can be traveling, it can be sports, it can be...
What did we even eat yesterday?
Something. Drive in a foreign country.
Okay.
Oh, right. صح.
That was my first time.
Nice. Where?
We were in Italy, so I did road trips, and I would
Yeah,
take
we
her
were
to
To
the
my
team.
racetracks and so on.
Nice.
Yeah, it was
good.
fun.
Oh, Hamda?
The last time I did something for the first time.
Mm.
Wait, I actually ate something in Italy. Do you know brazaola?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I had it for the first time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I never wanted to try it because I don't know, the way it looks just scares me.
Yeah, I would always tell her, "Come on, let's eat." She's
She
like,
always
"No."
makes me eat it, but then I'm like, no. And I actually tried it and I liked it.
I told you.
Surprisingly. But yeah.
So, girls, what are you afraid of, each of you?
I actually am afraid of this bug. No, I'm serious. I'm serious. There's this bug that comes out in the spring in Italy. It's called a chimiche. They call it a chimiche. It's freaky, I swear. It's so scary. That's the first thing that comes to my mind when I think about fear. But if it's something like personal, then I'd probably say like failure, or that's something that scares me. But yeah. But like something that's there is that bug. That's scary bug.
I need to Google the image of this bug
you should.
now.
It's called a chimiche.
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 Amna, what are you afraid
Spiders.
Spiders.
Yeah, I hate spiders.
of? Okay.
She has a snake as a pet, and she hates spiders.
I don't believe snakes are pets.
She has to.
No, I don't think they can be.
Oh, really?
I have a rule.
That's not
If
a
you open a door and the pet leaves and doesn't come back, it's not a pet. That's my rule. And if you
And
put
if you can't really pet
a
it.
cat will come back, a dog will come back, a horse probably will come back.
صح, true.
A snake will be like,
Peace out.
doesn't even come back. So how is it a pet for me?
Yeah, true.
Yeah, but yeah, it's just me.
I don't know.
She
I
loves
saw
this.
my uncles, they had snakes. My dad brought one when we were younger too. And same thing. It disappeared for 6 months.
But then we found it. But we had to find it, like it didn't come back. so.
Yeah, we had the cleaner. She was cleaning the cupboards. And then she saw something. She pulled it and it was a snake.
So, girls, I know you're both quite young, mashallah, but you mentioned the pressure that you can get from being an Emirati first racing driver, and now second or third or fourth, I don't know, but probably in the top 5 or top 10 also. So as women, do you feel, before we end this, I'd like to give you girls this option or opportunity. Do you feel like there's a message or there's a point that you'd like to make to an audience, to women, whether in the region or outside, or even men? Is there a message that you're not only racing because it's a selfish thing, that of course you should be to a certain degree selfish and enjoy what you do, but is there a bigger point to what you're doing? Is there a bigger purpose or a bigger reason? And what do you think that is?
I would say like people can do anything if they put their mind to it. I started pretty late. I started at 14. So as a driver, that was really late. And at the same time, I didn't have enough budget. I didn't have enough practice, training. And then I won my last F4 race. So with time, if I could make it, anybody else can make it. So it's just all about time and experience.
Yeah, I was about to say the same. So like persistence, dedication. If you want something, you will obviously work hard for it, and you'll try to get it. And that something is racing for us. So it can be anything for anyone. And so if you just put your mind to it, you work hard, you will get there eventually. No matter how much time. It's different for everyone. Everyone takes their own time. Someone can do it in a year. Some others can do it in a few years, So yeah, for me, obviously it took a lot of time, as we are new to the sport basically since we started late. So yeah, but if you actually put your mind to it, you work hard, you will shock yourself. Like I did to myself. I really shocked myself. Like starting from not even thinking I would even join the sport to actually doing well. It's like a shock. So, and then you look back and you see how far you've come, and you're like, but then there's still a lot more ahead. and to see how much you can get is something I want to keep doing, to see where I can reach.
Do you girls take it as a challenge to break a stereotype that men are better drivers? Like,
not
is it
really.
a person thing, or you don't even care?
No,
gender?
we don't really look at it that way.
I think it's just as soon as we put our helmets down, we're all the same. I just want to go out to get the best result. Everyone is on the grid to win, so that's one
like
thing
that.
that's on our mind. Yeah.
Final one, which I just thought of, which I think I can adapt my usual question to this. Racing in one word for each. What is racing to you? In one word.
In one
Fun.
word.
Fun.
Best. That's one word.
Wanti?
خطت my word. Fun, enjoyable, it's probably the same thing, so I want to find something different.
Racing.
Racing.
For Hamda in one word. What is it?
Experience, I think.
Experience.
Probably, yeah.
The feeling that you get, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else you'd like to say?
I think we're all good.
I think we covered a very interesting topic.
Yeah, I think so too.
So thank you, ladies.
Thank you so
for
much.
I'll
having
see you
us.
when you go to F1.
Inshallah, one day.
Inshallah.
Hopefully.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
How was it?
Really
Inti,
nice.
you're more talkative than I thought.
ترى
She's the more quiet one.
ترى when I came in I was like, okay, I'm not gonna say anything about the shit, but like the questions you asked got me so like, okay, I will answer. I got so confident for the first time ever. I'm like, okay, I'll answer.
I'm glad you're talkative. She has the elder sister demeanor where she'll just
That vibes that she sits down and
I
goes,
know. So she wants to talk. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
I'll let her just talk.
but it's good. I'm glad you shared some opinions. I think, look, girls, yani, for other girls watching this, you will be an inspiration. You will be an example. Because God, not everybody has supportive parents. Most people don't, especially if they're looking for a field that is not typical. Most. In the Arab world, if you're not, and I keep saying that we can't blame our parents because for them success means lawyer, doctor, engineer.
Yeah, true.
Maybe now certain sports like football or whatever, they're like, oh, you can make money and you can live as a professional footballer. But to say I want to be a racer or a chess player or a gymnast or I don't know, a chef. Chef maybe now is changing, but the point I'm trying to make is a lot of the young people don't have supportive parents. They do not. So because they don't have that, they might think, I need a role model. I need an example to give me hope that if I actually like driving, it's not aib, it's not shameful. It is possible for a girl to beat anybody on the track, male or female. She can actually be a great driver. And if, like you said, she dedicates herself and hopefully finds budget, she can do something. So that's what I wanted this special episode to be about. You will see this. It has an effect. Maybe for us or for you girls, you would automatically take it for granted because you haven't lived a different kind of life. You've had supportive parents. But for somebody who doesn't have that or
So it really
supportive
helped,
friends,
yeah.
it would help. It
Yeah,
breaks
exactly.
a stereotype. And for sure, I won't compete against you in go-karts.
Yes, we should.
You'll have to teach me.
It would be
We
fun.
should.
Yeah, inshallah, that'll actually be fun.
Yeah, actually.